Ever wondered what comedians do when they're not competing for colourful badges? Well, wonder no more.
My wife and I, our first date was to Walthamstow Dogs.
Nice.
Was it?
Yeah. But our car at the time had faulty central locking mechanism. And we parked under the flyover in Walthamstow and then couldn't get out of the car. And she really, for her, that appeared to be a very bad date.
Did she think you'd sort of engineered this sort of locker in a car vibe?
Can I ask you what brand of vehicle that was?
It was an Alfa Romeo.
Like a wingman, the Alfa Romeo. It's like, park her up. No, don't leave yet, don't leave yet.
Do you want to get out now or give me the nudge? I love that car, 2.5 turns lock to lock.
Wow.
That's one for them petrol heads watching, both of them.
I know. It's funny, I remember having the highest pair of heels on one of maybe second date with my husband. And I said, I didn't want to admit it, but I sort of went, oh, do you know what? We were walking from the restaurant to a bar then, and I said, look, I'm going to change my shoes. I couldn't even pretend I could walk in them. And I went, I've got some flats in my bag. And he went, it's okay. I've got some heels in mine. And I just thought, oh, I like you. That was good. A good little line, that.
Did a gig once, and it was an eclectic bill. I was the only person doing stand-up.
Oh.
And the person hosting it was an escapologist, and he got in a box and then couldn't get himself out the box.
Was it an Alfa Romeo?
He was in a box on the stage, and he got in the box, and he was in the box for so long that everyone got up and just started milling around and doing their own thing. And then by the time he got himself out the box, he was so desperate to get off the stage, he just introduced me to a room of people that had all decided that the evening was over and were doing their own thing.
Oh.
After me were like girls dancers who were like all in bikinis with bits stuck on them. So yeah, introduced by a bloke in a box to dye my arse in front of bikini girls. Never get introduced by a bloke who spent 5 minutes in the box.
That's it. It's not the heckles or the actor if they actively hate you. It's the absolute couldn't care less if you were on the stage or not.
It didn't happen to me, but I was there, and it was in Newcastle, and it was like a community-based stand-up gig, but we were all quite rude, yeah? It was all lads, and everyone's just trying to impress each other, yeah? And then one of the comedians who was with us went out on stage, and he's just doing crowd work, and he says to the guy, oh, what do you do? And he's gone, I'm a mechanic. And so he said to the fella's missus, because he was a mechanic, he's got a big spanner or a little spanner. And then people are giggling, and then his wife has done him dirty and said a tiny spanner. Then he's left the room, looked very angry.
Oh, the tiny spanner man.
Yeah, tiny spanner man left the room. Gig's gone on, everyone's having a good time. And then the next thing, all we heard was bang! And then the lad who did the joke went, ah! And he's come back in and he threw an alternator at him.
An alternator?
Yeah, he must have got it from his boot. And he dashed the alternator at the guy. And then there was about a 50-man fight. So I don't think that's a very good gig.
No, that's a terrible
Oh
gig.
my God, what's an alternator?
It's like a very important mechanism to begin the car that holds charge, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's good
heavy.
you could get it in your hand.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's heavy.
There's a lump of metal that you could throw.
Oh my
It's a
God.
bit bigger than a cricket ball, would you say?
Yeah.
Good
Heavy.
name for a film, though, isn't it? Like
The alternator.
the alternator.
But you...
He's a man on the edge.
I see he must have been in the car. Get it? Dashed it at him. Absolutely fucked his hip.
It wasn't him who said he had a small spanner, it was his wife.
I preferred that he threw it at him instead of his wife. That would have been
Yeah,
terrible.
what do you want,
If he'd have come
Alan?
back in and thrown the alternator at his wife's head.
Yeah, he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm furious about this small spanner insult.
Yeah, my worst gig was very recently, actually, a polo club. Polo, you know, in case you're wondering if I keep it real, a polo club summer ball. And the woman who booked me was lovely. She'd seen me do a gig and she wanted me and all that. But you know when you get early to a gig and, you know, we like the green room, but obviously you want to read the room. It was all ponies. All ponies and mallets. I didn't know what they were into. It was India versus England, and the Indian team had won it, and they were all really lovely. So I'd sat on the Indian lads team, and they were really up for some bants as well.
Yeah, they were
So
on
that
it.
was nice. I'd made a joke about, how wealthy they were, and I said, these bastards, they've put me on the catering staff table, and they loved that because they were uber wealthy guys. One of them said he's in construction, this guy, and I said, oh, so's my husband. I said, what do you do? He goes, oh, my family build holiday resorts. What about your husband? I said, patios. So I did tell that joke on stage. But after that, my knowledge of the polo world, I had nothing. I mean, and they didn't care about my menopause. They didn't care about anything, really. So it was an excruciating half hour.
Tough
They were
half hour.
lovely, but it was excruciating.
Ultra posh people don't go through the menopause. They outsource it, don't they?
They don't know.
They get in a woman for that.
You
Yeah.
get a surrogate menopausal
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
I broke my collarbone.
Yeah?
I think I was about 4 or 5. I think that's my first memory, really.
How did you
And
do
we
it?
had a little slope in our back garden, and I had a little truck thing. Went over the top and down the slope and fell off. And I was delighted to be told I had a broken collarbone. And there's nothing they can do about it. You can't put a cast on it or anything.
You just said very casually, I broke my collarbone, they sent me home, get on with it, yeah? Let's have a good time. Remember my uncle broke his collarbone, and all the way to the hospital, he's saying things like, when I'm not here, just my money is under the table here. I mean, he's gonna die.
He's writing his will.
Yeah, he's right. He's being serious about it. Then we got to hospital.
Yeah.
Got to hospital, and the nurse said, they checked it, and they're like, there's nothing we can really do. He said, nothing you can do. You're going to leave me to die. My collarbone is broken. You're going to leave me to die. They escorted us out of the hospital, and all the way home he said, they send me home to die. I'm going to die. He didn't die, but he did lie in bed for 3 weeks. You guys just take it in your stride. We're very serious about that stuff.
But then I fell off a climbing frame when I was about 8,
Oh,
and I broke my wrist.
Jesus.
Hanging upside down on the climbing frame, which is a very popular thing to do
Big,
amongst
huge,
the kids.
huge.
We didn't have any of that soft landing area.
It's like a spongy tarmac now.
Yeah, that's it. Didn't have that.
No.
And that broke, and I was told I was very brave for not crying. A lot of emphasis placed on not crying in the
Yeah.
70s. And the dinner ladies, because the dinner ladies run in with the first aid. One of them gave me a pen that she had where if you tilted it and a little, I think it was a cable car. She must have got it from a resort with a cable car in. Slid down like that. She said you can have that for being brave. But you couldn't write with it, it had no ink in it.
And you just broke your arm. My middle child got like chicken pox at Christmas. So, standing on a stool getting calamine lotion. She'd won Christmas, basically. Do you know what I mean? She'd won. I've won Christmas. And when her brother got it 3 weeks later, she took it personally. So that was my thing. That was my thing, getting all the attention for the chicken pox, thanks.
When we had chickenpox, my mum, so I don't have many memories of my mum, but I do remember that. She put all of us in one room. That was the policy.
What a good idea. I
All
rate
3
that.
of you get chickenpox right now.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the way you do it.
Americans have chicken pox parties, don't they?
Yeah.
So that it all runs through them at
You
the
want,
same time.
you want to have it at some point.
Yeah.
And you have it, better to have it young.
Yeah.
And as a parent, dealing with 3 kids with chickenpox is not 3 times worse than 1 kid with chickenpox, is it?
No,
It's
they're all
just-
in one room at least.
Yeah.
She just threw you in there, threw a
Yeah.
bottle of calamine lotion, locked the
Just
door.
wrote pox on the door in chalk.
Old school.
Anyone seen David?
I don't think David had a childhood. I feel like either he didn't have a childhood or this is his childhood, it's just extended.
Yeah, he was born in brogues and a shirt,
He's one of those kids that took a briefcase to school, and he
100%. He probably dealt with kids. He has got a sort of country doctor vibe, hasn't he? He probably dealt with the kids in the playground that had hurt themselves. No noise.
He's halfway between an adult and a child.
Yeah.
I get a vibe he doesn't like conkers, and that stresses me out a bit.
Doesn't like conkers.
Yeah, I think when we all be like, yeah, bang, he'd be like, stop that.
How good was your best conker?
It was like the size of an Alfa Romeo. It was fucking massive.
Yeah.
Best one I ever found. Yeah, fell out a tree, made a big hole in the ground.
Size of an alternator.
Couldn't swing it.
It was. That's the realest thing. It was the size of a healthy alternator. Yeah, it was.
Good. The best part of an Alpha.
Thanks for watching, Outsiders fans, and do please like and subscribe to ensure further pestering. And remember, you can watch Outsiders on UK TV Play.